Hey guys, it's Catherine and I am here today with my March plan with me video, and I'm actually really proud of myself because it is February 28th and I'm already filming this video. I'm not behind this month. So if you're new here and you've never seen my monthly digital plan with me videos before, then make sure you stick around. I do all of my digital planning in Procreate, and throughout these monthly videos I offer many tutorials that show how I do a bunch of this stuff in Procreate. But I do tend to talk a lot, and I do share some things just kind of about my life and my family throughout these videos. So make sure you check out the video description for timestamps if you want to skip around and just see certain parts of this video. You don't have to watch the whole video. These videos tend to be right around 1 hour in length. So it is March. I can't believe it's already March of 2019. February was a very rough month for me, y'all. It was so rough. There was just a bunch of sickness. My daughter and I were both sick, and then I just have not, felt well. I've still struggled with vertigo for part of February. Luckily, I'm better from that. I had to take medicine for like 3 straight weeks, and that finally wiped out whatever was causing the vertigo for me. Thank goodness. But then we were hit with like some stomach viruses and some respiratory stuff, and so that was horrible. Also, our basement flooded. It rained for almost like a straight week in my area, and it actually devastated the town right over from us, where several businesses were flooded, houses were flooded. People were having to be rescued from their house by boat because the flooding was so bad. And we lucked out in our area where the flooding was bad, but not as bad as it was just one town over. But our basement did flood a little bit, and my office flooded a little bit. So I've got a huge project to work on for the month of March, because our basement is pretty much just like a gigantic storage unit. We only have a partially finished basement. My office is down here, but other than my office, it's just a bunch of boxes. So this was just the kick in the butt that unfortunately I needed, but I wish I could have had it in a different way, where I need to just go through these boxes and get rid of a bunch of stuff and sell a bunch of stuff and donate a bunch of stuff. And so that is going to definitely happen in March, because we don't want any mold popping up in the boxes where some of the stuff flooded. I'm sure I'm going to have to throw some stuff away. Then also, on top of that, my phone died and I'm locked out of my iCloud account, and so that's why I'm behind again on Plan With Me videos. I got behind because of sickness, and then I got locked out of my iCloud account. I still have access to my business iCloud account, which is what I use on my computer and my iPad, but I have a personal iCloud account that was only accessible through my iPhone. And one day I was just scrolling through Facebook, and the screen just went black and it never came back on. That's now been over a week, and the screen still has not come back on, so I'm gonna have to send it off to be repaired. And it was crazy because I could still hear texts coming through. I could still hear phone calls coming through. Somehow my phone accidentally dialed 911 and I couldn't hang up, and I had to apologize to them when they answered and say, "I'm so sorry, I did not mean to call you." And it was just such a nightmare. It still is a nightmare. I've got over 50,000 pictures on my phone because I've had that iCloud account for like close to a decade. And that's why it's separate, by the way, because I take so many pictures of like my family and my kids and like all this stuff, and I just don't want that all over my business stuff. I like to keep my business account organized. So, because of that though, I'm now locked out of that account because I use the 2-factor authentication. I hope I'm saying that right. For security purposes. So if anybody ever tries to log into my iCloud account, I know it, which is a great thing to have. But then when your screen dies and you only have your iCloud on that one device, you're stuck. You can't do anything about it unless you get your phone fixed. So that is what is currently going on with me. I'm currently using like an older iPhone where the screen is cracked, and I'm using my business account on it for now. So that is what is going on with me. And that was what February was like, so I'm hoping March will be a lot better. So anyway, sorry to talk about all that. I just like to give an update at the beginning of my videos. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is go through the March section of my digital planner, and I'm actually going to delete all of the pre-made layouts because I use all of my layouts in Procreate and not in GoodNotes, and I just don't like all of these extra pages. So I'm going to go through here, and all of these calendars, I'm just going to get rid of them. So I'm in March right now. So in GoodNotes 5, I'm in GoodNotes 5, by the way, not GoodNotes 4. I've officially switched over to 5. I think I've announced that in another video because it does still have a few bugs, but nowhere near as many as it had previously. So they've done a lot of updates. They're still releasing updates, and you know, I just really like all the features that come with GoodNotes 5. So I'm on March, so I'm just going to hit select, and I'm going to select all of these calendar pages, and then I'm going to hit trash. So now I really just want to duplicate my blank page for March. So I'm going to swipe. This is my dot grid page. I don't want to duplicate that. So here's my blank page for March, and I know it's still in March. I'm using the Truly Yours planner, and in this planner, it has a brush stroke behind the March link down here. So this is the page that I want to copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to all of my pages again, and on this page, I'm going to click this down arrow. I'm going to hit add page after, and I'm going to click on current page, and now that added a duplicate. But since I'm working on my monthly calendar for this month, I want to drag this new page right behind my March divider because that is where I like to place my monthly calendar. So now you'll see when I navigate my planner, this blank page is now behind my March calendar. So now I'm going to go into Procreate, and I'm going to pull in my monthly calendar. I'm going to use the same style that I've used for both my January and February Plan With Me videos this year because that layout has worked so well. So all of this stuff that I'm going to show you how to do, you can do it with any layout. Excuse me. I still kind of have some sinus stuff going on, so I get kind of hoarse every now and then. But you can do this with any planner, and I'm just kind of explaining the Truly Yours planner since that's the planner that I'm using, so you'll kind of be able to stay with me here. So the Truly Yours planner was made for people that like to do planning in Procreate as well as GoodNotes. So what I do is I include a pages folder that just has the individual pages that can just be brought straight into Procreate. If your planner doesn't have something like that, you can export your page from GoodNotes and bring that into Procreate, and I have a tutorial that shows how to do all of the basics in Procreate version 4.2, and I'll link to that in the video description, as well as place a card towards the top of this video that you can click on if you want to see how to do that. So what I'm doing now is I'm bringing in my calendar from my Pages folder that comes with the Truly Yours planner. I believe the layout that I want to use is monthly 4. And yes, it is. So I'm bringing in this page now. I'm bringing in the one with the white background. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these side boxes right here. Under my layers, I'm going to create a new layer. And instead of erasing these, I am going to use a white brush. So I'm changing my color to white. And I'm going to select my signature brush. Actually, to make this easier to show off, I meant to do this in my last monthly Plan With Me video, but I didn't. I'm going to change my color to black. And now I'm just going to use quick shapes to draw a shape over these boxes. So, to use quick shapes, I'm just going to draw a quick rectangle. And then once I get to where I connect the sides, I'm going to press and hold. And you'll see that holding the shape made my rectangle more perfectly shaped because it was very wonky, and then this edit shape thing popped up. So I'm going to click on edit shape, and now I'm just going to drag these blue dots until this entire box is covered right here. And once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to take this black dot and drag it and drop it. And now, for now, that's black. I'm going to change it to white in just a minute. So on this other side, I'm going to do that same thing for both of these boxes. I'm just drawing a rectangle, and then when I connect it, I'm going to hold, hit edit shape, and then move these blue dots, and all that's covered. So now I'm going to drag and drop that black dot. So now to change these to white, I'm just going to change my color dot to white, and then drag and drop on top of the black, drag and drop on top of the black again, and now all of that is gone. So now I am going to merge these boxes with my calendar layer because I don't want those side boxes back. So now I'm just going to pinch And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to select my stickers for the month. I already know the sticker set that I'm going to use. I've been a huge fan of this shop this year. It's called Print Petticoat Bandit. And every month, around the end of the month, they release a monthly kit. And so I have purchased their March 2019 Lucky Charm kit. And that is the sticker set that I'm going to be using this month. I'm selecting those from my Procreate sticker stacks. I have a video that shows how I create all of these sticker stacks, and I'll link to it in the video description. So here are the 2 sticker sheets that I want to use. So to save both of those at the same time, I'm just going to hit select. And then I've selected both of those, and now I'm going to hit share, PNG, and I'm going to save 2 images. So now they're in my camera roll. So sometimes this doesn't work, sometimes it does. I've noticed a bunch of the sticker sets that I purchased from Print Petticoat Bandit use pastel colors, so sometimes that is why this doesn't work. But I'm going to try to erase the backgrounds of these sets using a free app called Magic Eraser. So I'm pulling that app up right now, and this app only works in portrait mode. It usually makes you watch an ad like we're doing now. But I'm not going to tilt my iPad because then I'd have to like readjust the camera and stuff like that. So I am just going to work sideways. But here are my images. So I am going to select this first sticker sheet, and I don't need to crop it. So I'm going to click on done. And now I'm just going to select the white area. And luckily, the colors that she used this month are not too light. So it deleted the white background without erasing any of my stickers. So that's awesome. So now that I've deleted the background, I'm going to click this box right here. And then over here on the side with the transparent background, I'm going to click on it, click on high resolution. And now that's saved to my camera roll. So now I'm going to click on done. I'm going to click this back arrow. It's going to ask if I want to start over. I'm going to say yes. And now I'm going to select this second sticker sheet. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up here and click done. Click on the white box, which I just have to click on it once pretty much. Actually I see some other areas right here. So I'm going to click on those little areas. And now that my white is all gone, but my stickers are remaining, I'm going to click on this box. Click over here, click high resolution, and now that is saved to my camera roll as well. So I can go back into Procreate. So now I'm going to go back to my monthly calendar, which is right here, and I'm going to insert both of those sticker sheets. So to do that, I'm going to hit my wrench tool, I'm going to click on add, I'm going to click on insert a photo, and here is my first image with the transparent background. So it brought it in kind of small, and I'm actually zoomed into my canvas a little bit too much. So I'm going to deselect this for just a second by clicking on this arrow, and I'm going to pinch to zoom out. Now I'm going to select it again. I'm going to come down here and hit uniform, and I'm going to drag these blue dots as close as I can to the side of the page without actually going off the page, because whatever you accidentally drag off of your page and then deselect, it's going to delete it from the entire canvas. So that's why you want to get as close as possible without going off of the canvas. So now that I have this resized, I'm going to deselect it again by hitting this arrow. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the second sticker sheet. And now I've got both my sticker sheets. So what I like to do is group these sticker sheets together and then keep them at the top of my layers panel. So I've got the most recently imported sticker sheet already selected. So now I'm just going to swipe to the right of that second sticker sheet, and I'm going to click on group. Now what I do is I keep the group visible. You'll see that checkbox there, that's still checked, but then I hide my sticker sheets until I need them. So to hide those, I'm going to uncheck the first sticker sheet and then uncheck the second sticker sheet, and now they're both hidden. So I've shown you how to do that, but now I actually need one of the stickers. So to get one of my sticker sheets back up, I'm going to go to my sticker group. I'm going to click this down arrow, and I'm going to unhide this first sticker sheet, and then I'm going to select that layer. And I want to pull in this March header. These are the Happy Planner sticker sheets, but she makes them for Erin Condren and all that stuff. I just buy the first one that I see since I'm using them digitally and I'm not using either one of those planner styles or anything like that. I just buy the first one that I click on. But you'll see that this header actually has like days listed. So there's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't want any of that. Here are the rest of them because they're not going to fit where I want to put this sticker. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crop this header and I'm going to get it as close as I can to the sides without getting these days underneath. So to do that, while I have this layer selected, I'm going to click on this ribbon right here. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make sure rectangle is selected. And now I'm just going to draw a rectangle and I'm going to get it as close as I can to the edge without going over the edge. And then once I'm happy with that rectangle, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit duplicate. So now you'll see that that sticker is on its own layer and it's separate from the sticker sheet. So now I can hide that sticker sheet and then I can take this layer and drag it underneath my group. And now I can minimize that group. And now I've just got this header left. Now, I like to put these headers at the bottom. I just think that they look really, really nice. So I'm going to select this layer and I'm going to drag it down here. And now I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm just going to cover this box with this header. So I'm going to select it again. I've got uniform selected, so I'm going to use that for just a second. But now I need to switch to freeform because I am going to warp this a little bit. It's still going to look really nice, but I do need to stretch it past the original dimension. So I've come down here and I've selected freeform and now I'm dragging this down. And see how that still looks nice? It just made the letters a little bit taller. It made that bow a little bit taller. So now I'm going to deselect that. And I've got my bottom header, doesn't really make sense, but that's what I'm calling it. Okay, so now I'm going to place the days above my calendar. So I like to do my calendars with a Monday start. So I'm going to go to Creative Market and download a font that I've recently purchased. I'm going to try to decide which font. Ooh, I really like this Flossed Sugar font. I'll link to this font in the video description. But yeah, it's kind of a funky font. If you look right here, this is by On the Spot Studio, where it's kind of like a print and script mixture. I just really like it. So I've already purchased this, so I'm going to hit download now. And I'm going to hit open in iZip Pro. And I'm going to unzip all files. And so that unzipped the file for me. So now I'm going to use an app called AnyFont to install this font onto my iPad. So I'm going to click right here and select this font. And now I'm going to come down here and click open in. And then I'm going to select copy to AnyFont. So now I have to scroll to find the font. I believe it's called Flossed Sugar. Yep, here it is. So now I'm going to click on that, and you want to tap the icon to install the font, and then click on Allow. So now it's pulling this up, and now I want to install this font. So I'm going to click on Install, and then it's going to make you enter your passcode. And once you've done that, you can hit Next, and then hit Install again, and then click on Done, and it brings you back into AnyFont. But now you can actually close this. I'm going to close Settings. I'm going to close iZip. And now I'm going to go into an app called Graphic to type my headers. So here is the Graphic app. This is a paid app, and it is, I believe it's $8.99. It might be $7.99. But it's totally worth it. I've got a few tutorials on it, and I'll link to that playlist in the video description. You can make planner stickers in this app. You can make planner layouts in this app, and I use it all the time to use text in Procreate. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to create a new canvas by selecting this plus sign. Blank is automatically selected, and it doesn't really matter about your canvas dimensions. I'm going to come right here and select screen size. But your canvas dimensions can be pretty much anything. So now I'm going to hit create. So now that I've hit create, this is my most recent canvas, so I'm going to click on that. And now I want to type my daily headers. So to do that, I'm going to select my text tool right over here, and where it says double tap to edit, I'm going to double tap. And now I'm just using 2 fingers to kind of scroll down a little bit. So right here is where I can select my font. So I'm going to find that flossed sugar font. And there is that. And I always like to make my font size the maximum size. So 144 is the maximum size. That is already what mine is set to. If yours isn't set to that, just click right there where you see the font size, and you can drag this slider. And I just drag it all the way to the right to make it 144. So now I'm going to start typing my days. So I'm going to start with Monday. I actually want all of these to be lowercase. Sorry, y'all, my husband keeps texting me. Okay, so now I want to copy these into Procreate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of press to the side to deselect, and that got rid of my keyboard. And this is still selected though, because you can see a box around it. And I just realized I forgot to type Thursday, so I got to go back and type Thursday. Oh my God. Okay, Thursday. There we go. So now I've gotten rid of my keyboard. There's still a box around this. So now I'm just going to hit this paper clip and click on copy. Now I'm going to go back into Procreate, 3-finger swipe, and hit paste. And so it brought in all of my days. So now, I know I've explained this in several videos, but I'm just explaining it for anybody that is new to my videos. I like to size these down before I crop and place them. So I always base my size off of Wednesday, because letter-wise, Wednesday is the longest day of the week. So you'll see when I place Wednesday above a box, it's just a little bit too long. So I'm going to come down here to uniform, and then I'm going to drag this box to size down. And that looks pretty good to me. So now all of these are pretty proportional, and they're all going to fit above the box that they need to go above. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to individually crop these so they're all going to be on their own layer, and then I can place them. Okay, so to do that, it's similar to what I just showed you with the sticker sheet. I am going to click on this ribbon, and instead of doing rectangle, I'm going to come down here and select freehand, and then I'm just going to draw a shape around the day. So I drew a shape around Monday, and now I'm going to hit duplicate. Now when I go to my layers, you see Monday is on its own layer. So now I need to go back to this layer that has all of the days on it, and I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to do the same thing for Tuesday. And now I'm going to do the same thing for Wednesday. It's just important to remember you always go back to that original layer that you're cropping before you start selecting, or else it won't work. Okay, so now I'm going to delete the layer that has all of the days on it, and now I've just got these individual layers. So to get these even, this is my trick for doing that. I come up here to my wrench tool, and I go to canvas, and I turn on my drawing guides, and then I size my drawing guides down quite a bit. And then once I'm happy with the size, I hit done. Okay, so starting with Monday, I just drag that up above the first box, and I try to get like the lower part on this blue line right here for my drawing guides. And I also, at the same time, try to get it centered as close as possible with this box. Nothing is perfect in Procreate like this, but you know, you can get it pretty close. That is part of the charm of Procreate though, because you can tell everything is like done by hand, which gives it more of that paper planning feel that I love. Okay, so now that I've got those aligned, I want them to be closer to my boxes. So I'm gonna group all of these by just pinching and merging, and then I'm gonna select my arrow. I'm gonna turn magnetics on down here, and now I'm gonna drag, and you'll see that blue line pop up. That's how I know I'm keeping them centered with their original placement, but I'm dragging them down a little bit. So yeah, that looks decent to me. I believe March starts on a Friday. I have no idea. Today's the 28th. Yeah. Okay, so March starts tomorrow, duh, and today's Thursday. I just can't even think straight. So I am going to start placing all of my days. So I want to use the number stickers that come with this set. So these are right here in the sticker sheet. So what I like to do, what I've done in my previous monthly plan with me videos, I copy all of these number stickers, and then I'll go back and individually copy them. So I am on my sticker layer right now. So I'm gonna select my ribbon, I'm gonna select rectangle, and then I'm just gonna draw a rectangle and just grab these numbers. So I'm gonna hit duplicate, and now all my numbers are on their own layer. So I'm gonna drag this beneath the group, hide my sticker sheet, and then minimize my group. So before I start cropping, I'm going to make sure I like the size of these. I normally do because I like my numbers to be a little bit big. I'm sorry about my squeaky chair, by the way. I keep readjusting because I just can't get comfortable today. But I'm going to try it with this 31 right here. Let me turn off magnetics. And yeah, I like this size for my numbers. Actually, I'm going to size them down just a little bit. So I've got uniform selected. So now I'm just going to drag this corner box just a tiny, tiny bit. And yeah, I like this size a little bit better. Okay, so starting with 1, I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to go through and duplicate all of these numbers. So I'm on my number layer. So I'm going to select this ribbon. Rectangle is still selected from where I previously cropped these numbers. And now I'm going to crop number 1 and hit duplicate. There's number 1. I'm going to go back to my numbers. Grab number 2 and hit duplicate. And I actually think I grabbed part of the 1 for that one. So if you do that, you can just undo what you've done and then redo that. You just want to make sure you don't grab any part of the number right beside it. So yeah, I think that I did good that time. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to just show you how I grab number 3 and then move on from there. So here's number 3. I've got my rectangle and I'm grabbing it back to this layer, and now I'm going to just speed through the rest of these. Okay, so now I've got all of my numbers duplicated. So I'm going to delete the layer that has all of the numbers on it. And then I'm going to start placing these. So I know I've kind of done similar stuff in the past. It'll be now 3 monthly plan with me videos. But it's just kind of the style that I'm liking lately. I like the stickers that come with the monthly print petticoat bandit kits, especially the monthly stickers. That's the #1 reason why I buy the kits. And I like how I can flush them with the side of the boxes. So that is what I'm going to do in this video as well. So like I was saying, the month started on a Friday. What I'm going to do to make things easier is I'm going to just kind of haphazardly place the numbers in the boxes that they need to go in. And then from there, I will zoom in and do a better job of placing them to the side of the box. So here is number 1. 1 is going to go here. Okay, so I've got that done, and now I'm going to take a lunch break, and I am going to come back to this afternoon after Sunny gets home from school. Okay, y'all, I am back, and look, I've got this awesome cover on my pencil. I ordered this a few days ago, and it finally came in, and I'm sorry it's got so much dust on it, but that is from my sweatshirt that I'm wearing. It kind of stuck to the case as I was trying to get it on. I will link to this case in the video description. I was just browsing Amazon the other day, and this came up in my recommended products, and I was so excited to see that they finally made a silicone case for the Apple Pencil 2nd generation, because that is one thing that I missed about the 1st gen pencil. I had a case almost exactly like this for that pencil, so I will link to both this case and the similar case for the 1st generation pencil in the video description. I will say that this case is super hard to get on. You'll see my fingers are really red right now, and that's from all the force that it took to get this on my pencil, but now that it's on, it's there to stay. And when I go upstairs, I'm going to wipe it down to get some of this like sweatshirt fuzz off of it. But anyway, now that I'm back, I'm going to start placing all of these numbers. So I guess I got some fuzz on my iPad too. So I'm just going to start with number 1, and I'm going to zoom in quite a bit and then just move this up. And I want it to be flushed with the corner of this box. So there it is. And now I'm going to do the same thing with number 2. And now 3. And so what I like to do when I am finished with one row, I just go ahead and merge those numbers together. So now I've got 1 through 3 here, and now I'm going to move on to this 2nd row. Okay, so now I've got all of my numbers merged. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these extra boxes. So to do that, I'm going to come down here to my calendar layer and then create a layer above it. And now, kind of similar to what I did with those side boxes, I am going to erase all of these extra boxes, but it's a little trickier to erase these extra boxes because they're connected to boxes that I actually need. So this is how I do that. I'm going to be able to erase this entire bottom row plus these first 4 boxes. So what I do is I zoom in and I see this first box right here that I don't need, and it's connected to this box and this box, which I do need, and I want those to remain whole boxes. So I just change my brush color to white and then select my brush. I'm just going to use my signature brush, and then I zoom in quite a bit and then just go over this black line And I'm gonna actually decrease my brush size a little bit, and I just try to get as close to that edge as I can of the calendar. And the more you zoom in, the more you can actually see the pixels, and it makes it so much easier to erase the box. So now when I zoom out, you'll see that I erased a good amount of that box. But now, you know, when I do this, it's actually a very thin white line. So I'll show you how to take care of that later. So now I've got this line disconnected, and my lines are still straight for the box that I need. So now I'm going to move on to this line. So again, this line is connected to both this box and this box. So in order to keep those boxes whole, but to get rid of this line, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to erase pretty much pixel by pixel. And see, I'm using my brush. This is not an eraser. I'm using a white brush right now, and that is because my calendar is white. So if your calendar has like a pink background or something, you will have to color match your background. So now I'm just going to do the same thing with the rest of these extra boxes. Okay, so I've got those disconnected. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to increase my brush size a little bit, and then just bring these lines in a little bit more. And actually, these are so few lines, instead of just bringing them in, I'm just going to go over them completely, and that should cover every inch. Okay, so I've got that erased. I'm actually going to move these days down in a minute, so I'll get to that in a second. But for now, I'm just going to erase this row. So I can erase this entire row. I don't want to erase these lines. I just want to erase from here down. So again, I'm going to decrease my brush size and then zoom in a lot. And now I'm just erasing these pixels right here. Okay, so I've got all of those lines, and now I just want to bring them down a little bit more. So I'm going to increase my brush size and then zoom in a little bit. And I increased it too much. So I'm just bringing these down just a little bit more. This is why this is my favorite monthly template. You could really do this with any template, weekly or monthly, that comes in the Truly Yours planner, but I just feel like this one has the easiest manipulation as far as, I mean, it'll work the same way, like I was saying, for all the templates, but I like that I can do whatever I want on both sides of my calendar, so which you'll see farther along in this video. So now that I have brought those boxes down, the easiest thing to do is to just kind of eyeball it and draw a rectangle. I know I'm drawing in white, so it's not really showing up, but as long as I'm in kind of the general area of these boxes, you'll see, like when I hit edit shape, I drew kind of a white rectangle around it. So even though I can't see it, I know it's covering all of these extra black lines. So now I'm just going to drag and drop that white dot, and now they are completely covered and I have no extra boxes. So now I'm just going to go ahead and merge this with my calendar layer. So now what I want to do is move down my days Monday through Thursday so they're more above these boxes. So to do that, I am going to go to the layer that has all of my days on it. I'm going to hit the ribbon. I'm gonna make sure rectangle is selected down here, and then I'm just gonna do a rectangle around Monday through Thursday. And now I'm gonna click on this arrow, and then I'm gonna come down here and turn on magnetics, and then I'm just gonna slowly drag these down, and I want them close to the boxes, but not touching the boxes. So there we go. So now my calendar is more uniform, and it's made specifically to fit this month. So now I've got this gap in between my March bottom header, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, and my calendar. So I can fix that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drag this March right here. I'm gonna drag that above my numbers and above my days. So now I'm gonna briefly hide that March bottom, and I actually see that I have a few little lines remaining. So just really quickly, I still have white selected as my color. I'm just gonna use my brush, and I'm just gonna go over these lines. I need to be on my calendar layer in order to do that. So I'm gonna go over these lines now. And now all of my extra lines are hidden. Okay, so now I'm gonna show my March again. And now I'm gonna merge my numbers and my days and my calendar together. So I'm just gonna pinch to merge all of those. So now I wanna select this and move it down. So to select all of this, I'm gonna go to my ribbon, keep rectangle selected. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit too so I can see better. And now I'm just gonna do a rectangle around my calendar. And once I have this whole area selected, I'm going to click on this arrow. Magnetics is still turned on from when I moved my days down. And now I'm just gonna drag this calendar down until it's directly above this March down here. And that is looking good. So, now my whole calendar is edited. Now you'll see if I were to turn off the background color, which is white, this piece is actually missing. That would be transparent if I were to save it, but that's okay because I actually edited the entire page. But with the background color turned on, you can't tell that that's missing. But let's say you have your background color set to white, but your calendar layer has a pink background. If you wanted to correct that, I'm going to turn this background color off. All you would have to do is color match your background by pressing and holding until this dot popped up and then letting it go, and you'll see that change your color, and then you can just drag and drop the color in that rectangle and you're good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off my drawing guide. So I'm going to go to my wrench tool, and I am going to go to canvas and turn off my drawing guides. And I want to do, I think, a hand-drawn glitter, green glitter March 2019 header. So I'm going to select my Smooth Moves brush, and I'm going to change my brush color to black. And let's see. I'm not loving how that's looking. Let me see. I'm actually going to turn my drawing guides back on and then see what I can do. Man, and I put that on the same layer as my calendar. I keep messing up. I need to create a new layer and then write March. So let me do that now. I just can't get this right, y'all. I'm going to try a different brush, actually. I'm going to try my signature brush and see if I like that style better. Some days I just can't get my lettering where I want it. And I'm kind of shaky today for some reason. You know, I can make that work, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to write the year. I'm going to stretch this march out just a little bit. Okay, so it's kind of weird, but I think I'm okay with it. I'm going to turn off my drawing guides. It's different. I'm fine with it. Okay, so I want these to have a green glitter effect. I'm just going to test out. I don't know if I'm going to love it, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to merge these two layers together. Okay, so I know I just merged those layers together and I told you I was going to do a glitter header. I've decided to go a different direction. I think I'm actually going to color match this pink right here. And it's actually more of a peach. And then change my lettering to that color. That's just kind of more spring themed, I think. I'm so lost, y'all. Okay, so I've changed that to peach, but I think I want to do something else. So I'm restarting again. I am going to do kind of a fade with this green and this pink. So right above my March 2019, I'm going to create a new layer. And now I'm going to just scribble in this pink. Let me find a good brush. Here's a bundle that I have labeled as lettering and paint. I know I got these on Creative Market, but I'm not sure of the shop name. So I'll link to these in the video description. Here is exactly what I had in mind. This is kind of like a paintbrush. And like I said, I can't remember the shop name, but there will be a link in the video description to these brushes. So I'm just scribbling right now. Oh my god, y'all, my mom tried to FaceTime me and it cut off my video and it undid all of my scribbling. So here's this scribbling, and now I'm color matching that green, and right on top of where I did that peach, I'm just going to do the same thing with this green. And I'm making sure that I'm covering all of my letters. Okay, so I've covered all of my letters. First, I'm going to do a clipping mask and see how that looks on its own. And I actually kind of like that look. But just for fun, we're going to do a little blur effect. I'm going to mispronounce this. I believe it's pronounced Gaussian. But on this clipping mask layer, I'm going to select this wand and then select Gaussian blur. Or Gaussian blur. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to select that. And then I'm just going to drag my pencil towards the right, and it's going to blur those colors. And that looks really good. Yeah. So see how it's blending the colors together? And it looks like the green is kind of dipping into or fading into the peach. So that is what we're going with. Okay, so since I'm happy with my header, I'm going to merge my clipping mask with my lettering layer. And now that is my header. Okay, so now I'm going to fill in dates. So I'm going to change my brush color back to black, and I'm going to get my brushes, and I'm going to select my signature brush, and now I'm going to start writing in my dates. So I want to do this on their own layer, so I'm going to create a new layer. So let me go through my dates. I don't have anything for the first, so on the second and third, Maddox is going to be spending the night with my parents. This is something that we're starting to kind of do at least every other weekend, so he can have some one-on-one time with my parents. And also, I mean, we love him so much, but he can be a handful sometimes. So it's kind of a little break for us too, as much as we love him. It's just a good experience for everybody. They get some one-on-one time with Maddox. Maddox gets some one-on-one time with them. And then we get to just do a little bit more relaxing than normal. Okay, so I like how that is written. So I'm actually going to move Maddox's name up just a tiny bit. Actually, maybe stretch it down just a little bit. And I'm gonna merge these together, and now I'm just gonna duplicate that because that is happening both Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so on March 4th, I have some friends coming over to help me with my basement situation that I talked about earlier in the video. So I am just gonna write down basement clean out. Okay, I'm gonna merge those together. On Tuesday, I have a therapy appointment at 9, so I'm gonna write that down. So what I like to do here, since there's that awkward space right there, I am going to pull in one of these extra little header stickers from this kit, and I am going to just crop that really quick with a good rectangle crop. And then I'm going to come down here and select duplicate. So now I've got this like little header sticker right here. I'm going to hide the full sticker sheet, and then on top of this header I am going to write appointment. And now I'm going to move that over. I need to turn magnetics off and then just kind of eyeball it, but that looks pretty centered to me. So now that I like how that looks, I'm going to merge those together, and then I am going to bring this up here and shrink it down. I'm going to select uniform to shrink it down initially, and then I'll have to do a little freehand. Or no, I won't. So I've shrunk it down, and I've just placed it directly in between the line for this box and then this number. And now that just kind of fills in some of that empty space right there. Okay, so let's see. On the 10th, it's daylight savings time, and I am going to write that down. I know that looks kind of funky, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to merge those together. So what I normally do, I forgot to mention this with this appointment sticker, I usually go ahead and duplicate it and then drag one of these down below my dates that I'm filling in, and then I just hide it, and that's in case anything comes up later in the month. I am doing a great job. I didn't do this last year, I'm doing it this year, of going back and filling in any dates that come up. So when I flip back through my planner, it'll be more accurate on my monthly calendars. So I just save that in case any more appointments come up, and then I use it in those situations. Okay, so let's see. The next date that I need to fill in, March 17th, is St. Patrick's Day. Okay, March 20th is the first day of spring. I'm actually not going to fill that one in. I'm so ready for spring, but I am going to leave that free because it's on a Wednesday, so some appointment or something might come up. Okay, so the 23rd through the 30th, my family and I are going to the beach. It's sunny spring break. I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to fill that in for the 23rd through 30th, but on the 29th, it's my mom's 60th birthday. So just for that one day, I'm going to fill in her birthday, but the rest of these are going to say beach. So I'm going to do that now. That looks really messed up, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to duplicate another one of those headers and create a quick header that says vacay. Okay, so I'm going to merge that with my beach lettering, and now I'm just going to duplicate this. All right, now I'm going to write my mom's 60th birthday. I feel like I'm misspelling 60th. And now I'm going to merge those together. So now right here, I'm going to write home from beach. Okay, so that is all of my dates for right now. So I'm going to just merge those together. And then of course, like I was saying, if anything else comes up, I'm going to come back in here and just write it in really quick and then recopy this page to my GoodNotes planner. So now I need to think of stuff to put over to the side, but I've got to go upstairs and help my kids now. So I will be back at this tomorrow to fill in the rest. Okay, so I'm back and all that I have left to fill in are the sides over here. So today is now March 1st. So since I'm like way ahead of the month rather than having a repeat of last month where I filmed it like pretty much halfway through February, I am going to write down all of the goals that I have for March. So my main goals are to eat better. I want to bleach my teeth. I want to do that every day. I just ordered some Crest white strips and they came in last night, and I just want to hold myself accountable and try to remember to do that for the full, I believe it's like 22 days. I want to get my office completely set up, and I want to update my computers and get on some sort of work schedule. Oh, and I just thought of another one. I need to find somebody that can watch my kids 2 days a week. So I am going to bring something in to write those down over here. So let's see what we're working with these stickers. I don't really have any ideas at the moment. Those aren't really working for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of my letterboard stickers. I know I've been using these quite a bit, especially in my monthly layouts, but they just look really nice. They're easy to color match, and I just like the style. So I'm going to bring those in from Dropbox, and I'll link to these in the video description. And I'm bringing in this white one because it's super easy to fill in the colors. So I believe I am going to, I've already got a lot of green going on, so I'm just going to make the frame green, and then I'm going to make the inside part this peach color. So first I'm going to change the color of the frame, and now I'll do the inside. Okay, so while it's still big, I'm going to go ahead and write everything. So I'm just going to create a new layer on top of this, and I'm going to change my color back to black. And now up here, I will write March goals. Okay, so I'm gonna have to leave off one, but I can make the other ones work. So I'll just leave off the nanny thing, and I'll just try to remember to do that. I'm sure I will, because it's not like a massive priority, but I do need to get that done. Okay, so my first goal is to eat better. So I'm just gonna draw a heart that I can easily fill in if I accomplish this goal for the month. I've been eating so many cookies. It has been crazy. I had a massive sweet tooth pretty much ever since Christmas, and I just can't stop eating sweets. It's all I crave, and so I'm trying to get better about that. So now I need to bleach my teeth. Okay, I need to organize my office. I know I said I was going to leave off the nanny thing, but I actually think I'm going to leave off the computer thing since I get reminders about needing to update my computer, so maybe I don't need to write that down. I just haven't made a time to do it yet, because anytime I touch my computer, it's because I need to use it right then, you know? So I don't have time to update it, and then I just don't go back and do it later. So I'm just writing office down, and I'll know exactly what that means. And this is something that finally it's going to be getting done, because it has to, because of our basement flooding. So for work schedule, I'm just going to write down schedule because, you know, since I work from home, this affects like everything. So not just my work, but my life as well. So writing the word schedule is fine. I'm going to try out time blocking. You know, with small kids that are at home all the time, days can be a little bit unpredictable, but I'm going to sit down with my husband and be like, look, I would really like to pretend that I'm actually going into an office and just have set hours where I work. So if we can make that happen, so I could set aside blocks of time every day or every weekday, then I would really appreciate that. Okay, so the last thing is nanny. So I'm going to put that on the last two lines. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to merge all of my text together, and then I'm going to merge that with the letterboard. And now I am going to place that over here. Initially, I'm going to do the uniform resize and see where that takes me. But I am going to stretch this out a little bit. So now I'm switching to freeform. And now I'm just dragging this down, dragging this over a little bit. I know that makes it super long, but I still think that it looks nice, and now my goals are just like very prominent. You know what though? I know I'm like notorious for changing my mind when I do these videos. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to put a little sticker underneath it. So that's still pretty big though. It's still super easy to see. It's just not, it's not as stretched out as it was. So there is that, and now I'm going to see if I can find a little sticker to put right here. If not, I'm going to do a little paint stamp. Let's see what they've got. I'm going to use this coffee sticker right here. Always remember, when you're cropping sticker sheets, select the sticker sheet layer because I keep forgetting to do that. I usually never forget to do that, but I'm forgetting this time for some reason, because if you don't select the sticker sheet layer, it's not gonna crop. Okay, so there's that. I am going to stretch it a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't get too pixelated. I'm going to do a paint stamp behind that. And then I'm going to erase that white handle. I forgot to catch that with the magic eraser. So first I'm just going to color match this green again, and then find these paint stamps that I use all the time. They are by a shop called Bird Design, and I use these constantly. There's so many to choose from. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now I'm on this coffee cup layer, and I am gonna just come through with my eraser, just very thin, and then just get as close as I can to the edge. If there's still a little bit of white, it's not that big of a deal. And there we go. So I think I'm gonna move this coffee mug to the center of this paint stamp, and let's see. I would draw a 4-leaf clover, but I'm not great at it. Let me see if I can find a quick 4-leaf clover PNG icon. And I'll link to this in the video description. So I did that paint stamp green, so I'm actually gonna do these peach. I just changed that to peach, so now I'm selecting uniform and I'm just shrinking it down, and I'm gonna just duplicate it a bunch of times and then just kind of place it randomly around this coffee mug and within this paint stamp, and then I'm gonna merge all of the clover layers together. I know I could have drawn a 4-leaf clover, but I usually have to like stare at things for a while before I can draw them to where I'm happy with them. So I just didn't want to spend time doing that. I don't love that. It looks like a bunch of paw prints. I'm not loving it. So I don't know what to do. I'm just going to draw peach hearts on each side of the cup. And I need to switch back to my signature brush. Let's see. This is just more my style. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Okay, so now what I've been doing is finding like some kind of quote to put over here. I don't know if that's going to work out for this month because these colors are so specific. I'm just going to put maybe St. Patrick's Day quote. I like how this one looks right here, but that is a very, very bright green. But I'm going to use it anyway. I've always thought you got to believe in luck to get it by Victoria Holt. So I'm going to save this image, and I may change the color when I bring it in. Let's see. Because that is going to kind of clash, I think, with the other colors. Yeah, it does clash. But that's no problem because we're in Procreate, so we can change it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change. I changed the 4-leaf clover. It kind of edited the whole image though, which is not a big deal. Let's see if it'll still let me change that dark green. Yeah, that works fine. So now it matches my planner layout. There's still kind of an outline, as you can see, around these letters, but you have to pretty much zoom in to see that. So it's not really going to affect it when I bring it into GoodNotes, and it's not going to be affected when I have my planner printed at the end of the year, which if you're interested in what I mean when I say have my planner printed, I have a video that talks all about that, and I will link to that in the video description. It is super awesome. I had it done last year, and I'm so glad that I did it. I can't even tell you how many times I've flipped through that book. My family has flipped through the book so many times. We love looking at all the pictures in it, and my mom actually loved it so much that she asked for a copy of it, so I ordered a copy for her as well, because even though it's like my planner, it's got, you know, a bunch of pictures of my family and everything that we did in 2018, and it's got a bunch of pictures of my kids and stuff, and she just loved that, so she has her own copy as well. Okay, so there is that, and yeah, I love how that turned out. I'll link to that in the video description. Now I just need something down here. So this is gonna be tough because I have not had a full cup of coffee today, and I'm not feeling very inspired right now. I think what I'm gonna do is just bring in this sticker right here that's just this washi tape. That is pretty cute. So let me make sure I'm on that layer, and I am. I'm going to do a little rectangle selection and duplicate. And then now I'm going to bring that down, and I am going to stretch it a little. I'm actually going to bring it right here and switch to freeform. I'm going to make it a little taller. And then I'm going to use these washi tape stamps, and I always forget the name of the shop where I got these washi stamps. I put EC, LMA Creative, or LME Creative, I don't know. But I'll link to it in the video description. These stamps are super cute. And I'm going to use one of these and kind of put it like as a piece of tape over this stamp. So I'm going to actually layer this stamp. So I'm going to do the bottom one peach. And let's see, I want to be on the same brush size. So I'm at 37%. So I stamped that, and then I did it on the same layer as my sticker. Okay, new layer, stamp that, and then I'm going to select one of these patterned stamps. I'm going to do this polka dot one, and I'm going to layer this washi tape. So I've color matched my green. I'm going to drag this to a little less than 37%. Let's do 34%. And then stamp that. Maybe like 36%. Stamp that. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom in. Once again, I forgot to create a new layer. Like I said, I'm a mess today. So I undid what I had just stamped, and now I've created a new layer and stamped again, and now I can move these and align these. Okay, so I'm really liking how this is looking. I don't want it to be perfect because I want it to have that paper effect. I do want to move it up just a little bit more, so I'm going to grab my magnetics, I'm going to turn that on, and then move it just a little. Yeah, and that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to group my tape together, and I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to switch over to uniform and shrink it down a little bit and turn off magnetics and just place it here. So it's like that sticker is taped onto my planner. And I think that that looks good. So now I'm going to turn off my drawing guides and give it one final glance. And yeah, I like how this turned out. I wouldn't have chose these colors myself, but I really wanted to match the kit, and I do like it. It's totally different than what I would normally do in terms of the colors, for sure, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it is fun to kind of step outside the box. So I'm going to save this in Procreate. I actually never delete anything from Procreate, but like I said earlier in the video, I am going to come back and fill in more dates that come up. But for now, I am going to go ahead and bring this into GoodNotes 5. So I've gone to my wrench tool. I'm going to click on share, and I'm going to save this to my camera roll as a PNG. And now I'm going to go into GoodNotes 5. And I believe I'm on the page that I need to be on, which I am. So I'm going to zoom out. And I've got to get my toolbar back. So now that my toolbar is back, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to double click the image icon and pull this in from my camera roll. And I'm just dragging it as close as I can to the side. And now I'm going to move it up. And there it is. Let's look at it in full screen. There it is. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more digital plan with me videos and digital planning tutorials, and check out my website naptimealt.com, where there's tons of planner related freebies that you can download now.